Hi, and welcome to the Ask Dr. Angela podcast with everyone's favorite OBGYN, Dr. Angela Jones. Have you ever been too embarrassed or shy to ask your own doctor about your, girl parts? Well, you've come to the right place to get straight answers. Feel free to ask Dr. Angela anything women's health related. Obstetrics and gynecology? She keeps it real. Pregnancy? She's been there, done that. Menopause? She'll get you through. Young or old, Dr. Angela's got you covered, girl. Now here's Dr. Angela.
What's good, people? This is Dr. Angela, everyone's favorite OBGYN, and I would like to officially welcome you to episode 254 of the Ask Dr. Angela podcast. Today's question comes to us from a 16-year-old. I'm thrilled about this because this speaks to the reach of this podcast. We've got folks of all backgrounds, ages, races, nationalities, citizens, non-citizens. This podcast is listened to all over the world and obviously by a score of people. So I'm so excited to get this question from a 16-year-old who happens to tune into the podcast. So Michaela's question was as follows. Hi, Dr. Angela. I am 16 years old and a junior in early college high school. I want to be a doctor one day, and my questions are, I love when there are multiple questions. Number one, what college classes should I go ahead and look into for my senior year? And number two, how do I make my journey to becoming an OBGYN go a lot smoother? First of all, Michaela, thank you so much for reaching out. This is pretty easy. For your senior year, first of all, make sure you're having fun. The books aren't going anywhere. Trust me. Anyway, if you are looking to kind of get a jump with regards to, pursuing your career in medicine and getting a jump start on classes that you are going to have to take in undergrad, you might want to reach out to the pre-med counselor at whatever school you're going to. And pretty much pre-med counselors are the same all over the place because the recommendations with regards to the classes required to get into medical school are the same. So you may want to touch base and see what classes are going to be required and then maybe look into getting some introductory courses in those specialties. I don't know, chemistry, biochemistry, physiology is always fun and necessary and certainly would prove to be advantageous, if you will, in the long run. Having said that, I really want to emphasize, have fun in your senior year. You are going to be just fine. But again, if you're someone that feels like you have to take some courses to get ready, you might want to look into the courses that I previously mentioned, because then when you get into undergrad, it's not going to be brand new to you. You'll have, sort of a jump on the game or a lead in the game, and you won't feel, as intimidated by some of the coursework. Secondly, how do I make my journey to becoming an OBGYN go a lot smoother? You make it a lot smoother by being a realist and realizing that it doesn't happen overnight. It's really a huge investment and sacrifice. It's a huge investment monetarily and time-wise. You got to make sure that this is something that you really want to do. Make sure that it's your passion, because if it's not, you're certainly in the wrong field and you're going to be wasting your time. And time is one of those things that once you lose it, you can't get it back. Certainly, from my standpoint, I absolutely love being an obstetrician gynecologist, but it still does kind of take away from some other things that you have going on in your realm. I spend a lot of time in the office. I spend a lot of time in the hospital. I have a family that's very loving and supportive, but it's a pretty tall task. So, something that's going to keep you so busy, you got to make sure that it's a passion. I want to say to you, Michaela, good luck in all of your future endeavors. I really hope that you will keep me posted on your journey, and I certainly appreciate the fact that you reached out to me. If there are any of you that have a question, concern, topic that you want mentioned or discussed on the podcast, you know how to reach me, www.askdrangela.com. That's AskDrangela.com. Click on the question mark and submit your question. You can email me directly. You can send me direct messages on the social media venues. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, of course. In closing, I'd like to leave you with this quote. In order to succeed, we must first believe that we can. That comes from one of my favorite books, Congratulations, graduate. I think I got this book when I was perhaps graduating from college or maybe even high school. It's an oldie but a goodie. Until next time, look better, feel better, be better. Can't wait to reconnect on episode 255 of the Ask Dr. Angela podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Ask Dr. Angela podcast. For more information on women's health and the show notes for this episode, please visit Dr. Angela at www.askdrangela.com. While you're there, don't forget to leave your own message for Dr. Angela. See you soon! All of the information provided and discussed in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and should not take the place of consulting a physician. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease or illness and does not and should not replace treatment from a medical professional.